How's it going, guys, and thanks for visiting my channel. Today I'm super excited to show you guys some studio monitors this time. Today I'm reviewing the 28-inch Elvid STV 284K HDR monitor. This is actually the StudioVision 4K that they make, and I'm going to be actually showing you everything this monitor can do. The back of the panel, the front of the panel, also the entire manual step by step. So when you get this, you don't have to actually read a word of what the manual is saying there, because this is what I'm here for. So don't go anywhere. I have so much to cover here, and this monitor I believe is going to help you a lot in your production, so don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. These monitors have a resolution of 3840 by 2160 LCD display and supports up to UHD 4K video and HDR. This monitor has 4 HDMI inputs, the 1 and 2 supporting HDMI 2.0 for 4K at 60 Hz, and input 3 and 4 which supports HDMI 1.4 up to 4K at 30 Hz. The VGA lets you run 1920 by 1080 at 60 Hz, and the DVI lets you run 1920 by 1080 at 24 or 60 Hz. 3G SDI jacks which lets you run HD 1080 60p. At the current time this video was made, this monitor is being sold at B&H for $1,060, and again this is the 28-inch size. There are 3 sizes available, one the smaller one being the 15.6, the other one mid-size being 23.8 inches, and the biggest one here which is the 28-inch. They are all identical in firmware and features, it's just the size that's different. So let's say they decide to order this monitor or whatever monitor, and these things, they're big, heavy, and fragile because this is a TV display, is a screen here. So this is another thing that I want to bring up here, because even though it's a no-brainer, some other companies, they just go cheap on the shipping box. Not this guy's here, because the more materials that you add into the box, the more money it costs the company. But they would rather go that route instead of having customers calling, hey, my monitor arrived broken, or my case got bent or damaged. So they'd rather spend the extra money here. This is the actual 15.6-inch monitor here, which is a more manageable size to show here on the video. So this cardboard materials here is different than the actual box here. This is extremely hard. It's similar to the refrigerator shipping box that comes when you buy your refrigerator at Best Buy or whatever. Also, outside the box, you're going to be also seeing this type of material here. They're probably familiar with the refrigerator and big TVs, right? So this stuff is all over the outside of the box, which is great. And inside the box here has very dense foams, as you can see here. So these foams actually protect the entire surrounding on this case here. So it is not possible to penetrate if somebody actually kicked the box or the box kind of fall a little bit on the corners. And in my case, I actually had the experience twice because I have both sides. I have the 28-inch and a 15-inch monitor. So the box here, as you can see, there's some damage here because it is what it is. During transit, you know, something's gonna happen to the box, but not here and not inside. Both of these monitors, they came perfect here. Not a single ding on any corner of anywhere on this case here. And a quick disclaimer here, that Elvid has sent me these monitors for me to test it out, and all my words and opinions, they are my own. This video is not sponsored by Elvid, and I'm not paid to say anything here. All I'm trying to do here is to review some gears for you guys. When I take this monitor out of the box and remove the front cover here, the first thing you want to see is the actual screen hood, which this case comes already pre-attached with the Velcro here on all 3 sides. So all you have to do is to align properly here, and to remove the sun hood, just grab it from the back here so you don't actually damage the shape of the hood. And also you're going to be finding a high density foam here, which is right between the actual screen and the actual sun hood, because everything is stored in the front of the panel here. I definitely recommend that you actually keep this here, so when you actually pack this out, you protect the screen hood goes right here, and you put the cover back in here. So this monitor here, for being a 28-inch, a professional monitor, and as you like it, this whole thing is made of metal. The only thing plastic you're gonna find in this monitor is this thing here, which is the thing that comes to protect the screen. Everything else is made of metal here. So it comes with this wooden flat case here, which you simply latch and unlatch here. It's similar to those guitar and amp cases that you see on a concert there. You've seen these cases around. Of course, you're looking at a heavy side. This monitor weighs about 41 pounds and a half, or close to 19 kilograms, so you need a pretty strong guy to be transporting this around here. So if this monitor is too big for you, they also make, again, the 15.6-inch, which is a lot lighter and fits everywhere. This one here allows you to view a larger picture, which you can actually see more stuff going on here. This picture you're looking right now here looks very sharp, and this is only 1080 at this monitor, which comes from my iPhone 7 Plus in the back here, which the Apple HDMI adapter only allows 1080 to be output from that adapter. And even if you divide the monitor in 4, even on HD, you can actually read every little tiny little text, or if you put a B&H specifications here, for example, you're gonna see every single dot because of the high density pixels this monitor offers. And of course, to display the correct brightness here so it doesn't blow up the image on the screen there, you can actually customize the brightness from 0 to 100 so it looks perfectly exposed on the screen right there. One of the main things that made me really happy here is actually the viewing angle of this monitor. As soon as I actually power it on, I was standing up. So if you view the monitor from here, right in front of this monitor, or if you stand up to 160 degrees, or if you view it on the side here, if you need to gather a small group of people actually looking at this monitor besides the director itself or any other client, you can actually view this monitor here from 170 degrees this way, and the monitor is still going to look like this way here. The only exception here that doesn't work is when I actually sit on the floor and try to watch this monitor here, which things are going to get a little darker, so you have to watch the monitor this way, standing up, or all the way from either side here. It's going to look great the way you see here. Using a kilowatt meter, I actually tested the power consumption here, brightness wise, from 0 to 100% in brightness. So at 0%, on the very beginning there, 1-2%, it's going to consume about 19.5 watts, all the way to 41.5 watts at full brightness, and all the way to 53. That one I didn't measure, but the specifications, they say this is a 53 watt monitor. Maybe when you are using the HDR10, that's when things are going to get pretty bright here, and it will reach all the way to 53 watts. But technically it's from 19.5 to about 41 watts. This monitor here also features stereo speakers. As you can see here, it's not the greatest sounding speakers in the world, but for reference audio, that's pretty much all you need. However, you can actually utilize the headphone jack here for monitoring with the headphones, or hook up a Bluetooth speaker on top here, on the side, or whatever you want to do for the big sound. This monitor here does two beautiful things that it is indispensable and expected to find in a professional monitor. Number one, there's no delay, no latency, because most monitors, when you start plugging in HDMI things, you're gonna see some delay, at least a quarter second, half a second. I've seen a whole second of the delay. You can actually choose the audio as you switch the angles of the cameras here to carry the sound coming from camera 1, 2, 3, and 4. Or if you so desire, you can actually use the audio from your digital recorder using simply the line out to the input on the RC on this monitor here, which this case here, it doesn't matter what you're showing on the screen here, the audio can be embedded externally. So when the camera angle changes, if you decide to put 4 cameras here or whatever, the audio will be always coming from the Tascam DR100 Mark III, for example, which is the external audio recorder that I'm using to capture the sound of this microphone here. So this is a beautiful thing, and this monitor does that. And the inputs here, of course, you can actually manually select the whatever input that you want, but you can also leave it on automatic. So the first device that you actually plug it in there is going to be automatically detecting instead of you manually going here. Due to the size of this monitor here, you don't actually have to remove completely the back panel of this flight case here. It has a little door on the back there that allows you to actually hook up everything that you need, plus insert a V-mount battery. It would be cool if they actually made a way so you can actually lift it up with a hinge and the whole thing comes out, but this door does not come out. So what I did here, I actually put a couple rubber feet here, so once this hits the case here, it doesn't slam. It also protects from scratches. And I also put a little bungee cord here, which allows this thing to be always tight, so if this thing needs to be tilted somewhere, the door is not going to be swinging around. The 23-inch version is the same thing, but on the 15.6-inch, it doesn't come with a little door because it is a small monitor, so the whole back of the panel comes off. So here's the front of the panel here, and you see all these buttons here, which, by the way, they made of rubber. They're not silent, but when you press this button here, you hear this noise. To me, that doesn't matter. So over here are your inputs from SDI to HDMI 1, 2, 3, and 4, and also the DVI and also the VGA. And here you have the menu and the arrows left and right, the exit button, and the F1, 2, 3, and 4, which are presets in which they are also customizable. You can actually change to pretty much everything, almost everything that you want to set up here as the default presets. To power the monitor, the switch is located on the back of the monitor on the bottom right, which has 3 positions. Obviously the off, when it is plugged in on the AC outlet, is called the DC, and the V-mount battery is going to be called BATT, B-A-T-T. I am actually gonna be leaving this monitor here permanently installed inside this case here, because especially when I take this thing to location, I don't want anybody bumping on this monitor, and I'm gonna keep it the way it is here. But in case you wanted to decide to actually remove this monitor, they come with these handles here, so you actually can remove 1, 2, 3, and 4 screws over there. All you gotta do is to place this monitor flat on a table or on a solid surface, can be on the floor or anything you want, and then you just slide the monitor straight upwards and the monitor is out of here. It also comes with other pieces of hardware such as a tally, which I'm not gonna be using the tally lamp for anything, so it comes if this is what you want to use the monitor with. This monitor also features a USB in the back, which is the very USB that's actually powering my Tascam DR100 Mark III here. My battery is full all the time. I've been recording here for at least 4 hours. Now the main purpose of the USB port is to update the firmware of the monitor whenever they release it, so plug it on a computer and you update the firmware. So if you are using the monitor with the case, the last thing that you want to load your truck with is one more heavy thing besides your camera, your Pelican case, which is already a ton of stuff to bring to your set. So I actually was trying to find a way to discover the lightest and strongest thing that can actually bring in a car here, or SUV or truck or whatever. So instead of actually bringing a table, one of those heavy foldable tables, forget about that. You can actually go to Walmart and buy one of those saw tables. This thing weighs nothing. You can actually lift it with a pinky. But when you actually put the case on those things, even on the grass, on the field or concrete, it's going to be very stable as long as nobody bumps into that monitor. The same thing can happen on the table. Somebody can also bump the monitor even if it is on an actual table. So that doesn't really matter. So what I'm trying to say here, I'm looking for the lightest and the strongest thing. And I actually found just the thing because I was looking at the stuff here. Wait a minute, this saw table here can actually be just the thing that I need, and this is exactly what I'm going to be using this monitor with. Now if you prefer to use this monitor without the flight case here, and if you don't want to use the provided feet to set it on a table, it's fine. You can actually use a VESA mount on the back there. Now using a VESA mount, be careful because these things are heavy, so don't go cheap on it, and you gotta make sure you have the big one because it's gonna utilize all 2 threaded screws on each one of the 4 corners of the VESA mount. So when actually mounted on a stand, it's going to be very secure there. So here's something that I don't like about this monitor. If you plan to use the VESA mount and the V-mount battery, you can't, because the VESA and the V-mount plate is actually occupying the same space. So you have to remove the V-mount plate in order to use the VESA mount. I have no idea what's inside this panel here, and I don't plan to open the monitor to find out. But if there was a space, I'm sure they would have put the V-mount right here and the VESA mount right in the center of the monitor. But again, the way it is, you cannot use the V-mount in conjunction with the VESA mount. You are limited to the power outlet only, or you have to buy a pure sine wave power generator to power via AC if you want to use this thing on the field, mounted on a VESA mount. And this actually applies to all 3 monitors. The 15-inch monitor, I see there's no way to do this, but on the 28-inch, there is definitely a way to put the V-mount here and the VESA mount right here. Now the power supply on the DC cable is fairly long, but on the actual AC cable is not really that long, so if you plan to actually keep that on the Velcro at all the time, tucked in there nice and neatly. So all I have to do now is to plug in the extension cord that I bought into the existing AC cord that comes with the power supply, so I can reach pretty much any outlet that I want. I just like to keep everything as much as possible nice and tidy inside this panel here. I don't want things like dangling all over the place. The back of the monitor also comes with the 2 little elastic belts with the Velcro, so you can actually keep everything nice and tidy. One is for the power supply, the other one is for your DC cord. So I'm using one of those little belts to actually secure my Bluetooth right on the top right corner of this monitor here, which is perfect to actually hold the Bluetooth inside the case, and it's actually the right size, so I can actually fully shut the door there and everything stay in place there. This monitor is listed at 3840 by 2160 UHD 4K monitor. I actually found a higher 4K option there and it took it. So first I was running this on a computer watching Netflix as the default UHD 4K. So right now here I'm playing content off my YouTube, some of the review that I did here. So you can actually change the audio to go with each camera for camera 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right now I'm on HDMI 1, camera 1 for example. The camera 2, it's going to be actually another audio. So go back to the camera 1. You can actually carry the audio from each one individually, right? Now let's say on quad mode here, sometimes you don't want to hear the audio from this camera or this camera. So you simply go to the menu. You must be on quad mode or dual mode. Find the audio source there, and then you can change the input to whatever you want. For example, right now I'm on HDMI 3, which there's nothing playing right now. So when I switch to this one here, you have the audio from this camera. Doesn't matter what happens here, The audio is going to be always coming from this camera. And then the other one is the audio from my YouTube channel, which I'm using my iPad on the back there. United States and Brazil, both of these countries, they use the actual power adapter is going to automatically. And if that wasn't enough, you can actually supply audio from your external mixer, your multi-track recorder, your sound devices recorder, whatever device that you're actually using on set with the actual main audio. So again, your director plug in the headphone here, wears the headphones, so he'll be able to actually listen and watch everything that's going on the screen here with the actual professional sound that you're actually capturing with your production here, instead of the scratch audio from the cameras. So this monitor does everything they want. You can play multiple contents here with different audio or one locked audio, even independently coming from the cameras or not. So here's the quad feature on this monitor here. Right here is my YouTube channel, playing from my iPhone. Here's the actual video that you're watching, and here's the Blu-ray player with some voodoo. Nothing copyrighted here, so I can't play any movies here, of course. You guys know who this is? This is the world champion boxer from the late 80s. This is Larry Holmes, and this is actually on my camera footage, the raw footage, by the way. And for my name, it's actually very cool that I film celebrities like this here. So there you go, this is Larry Holmes, pretty cool to see as a demo here. And this is the actual raw footage with Larry Holmes right out of my 1DX right here.
Camera speed. Go? Yes.
So next I'm going to be showing you guys here this device here hooked up to the back of the monitor on the RCA input, and again there's no lag, no delay, nothing. So if you clap in here, you would hear a double clap. When you clap once, you would hear this, right? So there's no delay. Now for this test here, the volume has to be really low because otherwise you're going to have some nasty feedback here. I'll see what I can do to show you. I can have audio right now. So you have to go to the menu, input, and select the analog, and then you adjust your volume. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing. I don't know if you can hear this, but there's no delay between this externally connected device here plus the video on the screen. So there's no delay here, no delay there. Testing. 1, 2, 3. So everything is perfectly synchronized. And here the audio from the camera through the HDMI, everything, there's no delay. And since nobody likes to read one of them things here, don't worry about it because this is what I'm here for. I'm going to be showing you guys now next the entire menu and every single feature this monitor has to offer, every single button that you see here. Alright, to access the menu, hit the menu key, obviously. Then you have your picture, and then the arrows left and right is going to advance to the function, and then display mode, display setting, then the select region. I'll go back to that in a second. Then the input, audio, and VGA. I don't use VGA, so I'm going to skip that. You read the manual, please. Then system, and then information. So if you want to know where you are as far as you are in HD, 2K, 4K, all you got to do is go to the information, and all the information here is right here. And as you can see here, this monitor is full HDCP compliant, which means you can actually plug in on your computer and watch Netflix, or plug in on the iPhone, any Blu-ray player, whatever it is they want on the back of this monitor, you will be able to watch on the screen here. Going back to the main thing over there. Now to access the bottom here, hit the menu again. So the menu key serves two purposes. One as the menu and also a selection tool. And the exit also functions as an exit, or if you want to cancel the changes that you made here. For example, to access this values here again, press the menu. Now you are actually highlighting, and it usually is yellow. And with the arrows left and right, you can actually change the values here. I was at 25. So if you don't want to make these changes here, simply press exit. You did not exit, you just cancel the value. If you press the exit again, that's when you fully exit the thing. So go back to the brightness there. I just want to try to explain to you here how the menu and the exit work on this entire menu, which applies the same to every single thing that you see here. Next will be the contrast. The default is 50, goes from 0 to 100. And the next is saturation, same deal. Hue, same deal. And sharpness, the default is, I believe, is 1, but I think the 3 is actually working better for me. Then you have the color space, you have the Rec 709, and also the users here, and also the native one here. So right now I'm at native. So when you press the menu here to select, it will be glowing in yellow. So the things that you want to change, make sure it is in yellow. So if you want to go to the Rec 709, make sure it is here. And if you do want Rec 709, again, to confirm, press menu. If you don't want, press exit. Nothing is changed. Next will be the HDR, HDR10 actually. Press the menu here. So you have off, and then auto, and the actual thing here. Next will be the backlight mode. You have the option as the user, full brightness 100% and the standard. So the standard is about 50%, I believe, and this one again is 100%. And the user, when you select as a user, then you're going to be actually unlocking all the things here. So let's go there. So select menu here, which is this thing here. The backlight now is unlocked, because if you are set to the default instead of the user, this is not available here. Right now it is, because I did that. So to change the values here right now for exposure of the camera there, I have it set to 25. But to change the values again, you gotta press the menu to highlight the bottom thing here, and then you actually do your brightness here. So I'm actually gonna be doing from 0 all the way to 100 to give you an idea what's the brightness here. So this is the brightest setting of the monitor, and I don't want to change this. I simply hit exit to confirm. Instead, press the menu. So exit goes back to the previous setting. Next one will be the color temperature. The default is 6500. If you want to change it, press the menu, and then you can actually try it under 300, 75, 65, 50 some hundred, and use it. When you press the user, now you're going to be presented with more options here, which is the RGB. This is actually useful when you actually have a calibration tool to calibrate this TV here. If you're hooking this up on a monitor, you can actually use those spider calibration, which is very easy. Now, not connected to the computer. I'm not sure which one you should buy, because all I know, you can even calibrate projectors, like home theater projectors, which are not tethered to any computer. Now to cancel this, go back to the temperature, hit menu, and go back to the 6500, which is factory default. Press menu. There you go, the RGB disappears. Then press exit. Next will be the function. Press the menu to go to the bottom. The center marker you have on and off. Press menu again to access here. So on, off. Exit, go to the next. Safety marker, again press menu. Right now it's off, and then you see a red line here according to whatever safety marker that you want there. Since I don't want anything, I just hit exit, so nothing is done. Next will be the aspect marker, which is the same red line that they provide here. Press menu again to access the bottom. Right now it's off, there's no lines on the screen. Full will be a red line all the way around the frame here. And then 17:9, 16:9, which is what this monitor is again. And then all these aspect ratios here. Next will be the aspect. This is the actual aspect. So full. And then the 17:9, you have a little moment here with the black screen. And then 16:9. 4.3, then 185.1, and finally the 2.35.1. So as you can see here, the picture is a little bit stretched. I wish they could give us a masking tool without changing the actual aspect ratio, still 16:9, but imitating the aspect ratios here. So if they can do that, that will be amazing. So what this is actually doing here, in case you have an anamorphic lens or whatever, this is what the monitor is going to be actually conforming to. So I don't want to change this, I will just hit exit. You can also leave the monitor permanently to 16:9. This is what you're going to be doing the most. This monitor here is also capable of splitting the screen into 4 or the 2 camera view. So right now, if you select the 2, you're going to see the image is very squeezed. So to fix that, all you have to do is to go back here and set the monitor to 16:9, and then you go to the other thing, I forgot what it is there, and then you can actually set it up to display the images correctly. But why go through all that trouble? Because the size will be the same as the quad screen. So either do a full screen or a quad screen and forget about the dual view here. Next will be the underscan. Again, everything that's yellow is what's been highlighted. So when I press the menu here, the on is actually on. So if I turn it off, right now with the underscan off, it kind of zooms in at probably 3, 4, 5%. It's the same thing with regular television features, as just in case the screen is not framed properly. But I like to see the full frame of the camera, so I'll leave it set to on. Press menu to confirm, so it's going to be on. So right now we have the full image of the camera. Next is the pixel to pixel. A lot of people don't understand what that is. So right now, if you set to on, it's going to be displaying right now the full HD pixels of the actual image. A 2K, the pixel to pixel is going to be like about this big here, and a pixel to pixel in 4K is going to fill the screen regardless, because this is a 4K monitor. If you watch on a resolution of 480, the square is going to be even this tiny here, so this is self-explanatory, very easy to understand. The 1080 looks like this here. Since I want to fill the screen as a 4K wannabe kind of image, you just switch it back to off, and there you go. Press menu to confirm. This is the HD on a full 4K monitor. The check field is when you want to use a calibration tool. So you press the menu here to select, and then you have the red, green, and blue. Press exit. Next will be the freeze. Self-explanatory. When you have a video going on here, you can actually press the menu to select the bottom here. So when you actually set to on, you freeze the image at any time. Next will be the picking. So press the menu to select on. Again, everything that's yellow, this is actually what we're actually selecting. So the off will be this yellow right here, and the yellow is going to move to on. The difference is very, very little. So I'll leave it to on just in case, because sometimes I need to make sure everything's in focus. So I'll leave it to on. And next will be the false color, is an exposure tool. And there you go. Next we have the display mode here. So right now I'm at full, as you can see here. So this is actually the 1/2. Press the menu to confirm. Then you're gonna see half and half. So you can actually have two identical images on both sides, or of course you can actually have whatever it is connected to the HDMI 2, 3, or 4, VGA, DVI, whatever you want. You just select the input here. You can make whatever picture appear here. Now the bummer of this thing here is because you have to call the menu again, but thanks to the F1, 2, 3, and 4 presets here, which also they are customizable, you will have to be calling the menu all the time for this here. So F1 I have it actually set to the color space. F2 I have it set to display mode. F3 I have it set to the aspect marker, and F4 I have it set to the aspect ratio. So what we want here is go to the F2 without any menus, and right now I am at the 1/2. Now to go to the next, you keep hitting the key here. Right now it's going to be top and bottom. Don't forget to press the menu to confirm. Now we have the images top and bottom, and as you can see again, the images are extremely stretched. If this was actually a video of somebody, it's going to be totally useless, but again, this monitor has the capability to correct to the normal picture, but it won't take the whole real estate of the screen here. It's going to look the same size as a quad screen, so again, forget about the dual screen unless you really need it for some reason. Press the F2 key again, and then to select the other one. This is a cool one, picture in picture. Again, press menu to confirm, and then you can actually have whatever picture here. It can be the same picture as the same input here, here, and there. Or you can choose again whatever picture they want from the back of the monitor, either VGA, HDMI, or SDI, or whatever. Press the F2 again. Now you are going to the quad screen, then press the menu to confirm. Now you can have all 4 cameras here with whatever you like. And press the F2 again to go back to the full. Keep pressing, and then there you go. Hit menu to confirm. You are back to the full screen. Now to customize here, this F keys here, just press and hold, make sure it is not on, otherwise it's not going to work. Make sure you press exit. So press and hold this key here, for example, and then you see the options here. It's going to appear a menu on top here, and then you can actually select the arrows here to whatever you want. Continue with the menu here. Where were we? Now next will be the display setting, which is great if you want to play a game and the game is on the vertical mode, whatever reason you need to. So press the menu here, and then you have 0, 90 degrees, and 180 or 270. So at 90 degrees obviously will look like this. So press menu to confirm, and then the monitor will become this way here, and then press menu again. Next one will be the display mirror. It's self-explanatory. You are mirroring the screen here. So I'm going to press exit. Next we have the select region here. The reason why this is actually in gray is because you have to go back to the aspect ratio and lock everything to 16:9, and then go back here. This feature is going to be enabled for you. So you can actually do a dual screen instead of stretching the whole picture here, top to bottom or left and right. Now right now I'm on HDMI 1. This is actually the input, also self-explanatory. If you want to change the input here, just select this here, hit menu, and this is no longer going to be HDMI 1. So it's going to be HDMI 2 on the HDMI 1 if you wish. Next one is the audio. The first one here is the actual volume. This is also default to factory, always at 0, because sometimes when you have your microphone, for example, right here, right, 2 inches from the monitor, you're gonna have some nasty feedback. So to play back, yes, go crazy, go to the volume 100 if you want. Next one here is the audio source, especially when you are working with multiple cameras. So when you actually do this here, you can have the digital or the analog. So the digital means whatever digital signal is being transmitted to the monitor. For example, if you're using HDMI carries both the video and the audio, so that will be the digital here. Now the analog, you're going to be utilizing the RCA on the back of the unit there, in which you're going to be supplying audio completely externally from your mixer or anything with the audio out through the audio in RCA. For more information, please read the manual there so you fully understand how to do this. Next will be the VGA, which I don't use. Next, this is the system. Press the menu. You can actually have the factory reset, which I don't want to do, but when you do that, it takes about a few seconds, 5 to 10 seconds of black screen here until everything returns back to factory default. Now the menu time, which is how long this is going to be on here, I like mine maxed out. Usually the default is 10 because I don't want the menu to go away, because I really want this to stay here for many reasons when I'm doing some particular setups here. If I want this out of here, I just press exit. Done. So I'll leave it like this here. And the next tool here is just the position of this little menu square here. So going there, it's set to 50. If you want to change the values, it does this. I don't want to change, so press exit. The next one, menu, and then it's going to go up and down. I don't want to change, so press exit. And next one will be the language. Be careful, because if you choose Chinese, you might not be able to actually figure out how to go back to the, I don't know, I'm just guessing. I know a little Chinese, so shouldn't be a problem to me here. So the next one is the transparency. Hit menu, how transparent you want this to be. The opacity or whatever. See that? So this is what it does. And the next will be color calibration. So I'm not going to mess with this because I wish I owned a calibration tool that's not dependable of a computer. That's on my wish list. Now the rotate here, you're not rotating the screen, you're only rotating the actual menu here, as you can see. Now the next one here will be the color border. So when you are on a dual or quad screen, this is actually when you actually add lines here and the colors of the lines. So right now I have to choose my quad screen here, press F2 here several times until you see the quad screen here, press menu. It's that simple, thanks to the shortcuts here. So go back to the menu here. So effective default will be set to 0. It looks like this here. I actually like the 1 and the thinnest line. So to increase, you just go here. And if you don't want to change anything, you just hit exit. So right now I have it default set to 1. And the next one will be the colors. For example, here the white, the blue, the green, and the red. And again, if you want to make it thicker, all you gotta do is to do that here. I don't want to change that. And I want it to white. So to go to the full screen again, I have set my monitor to the F2 as that. So click there until you see the full screen, and then hit menu to confirm. There you go, you brought to the main screen here. So that's the end of my review. This channel reviews mostly lighting, equipment like this here, and some audio equipment. So if you want to subscribe to this channel, I would really appreciate it. And if you want to give me a thumbs up, I thank you twice. If you have any questions or concerns or anything that you want to drop down in the comment section there, I'll make sure that I respond to everything that I see there. So once again, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for tuning into this channel, and I'll see you next time.